I know you're in charge of culture and leading that team at Corgan. And obviously, we always talk about culture really in our minds built on the core values of an organization. And so as you think about this new normal and people coming back and really, elevating the cultures as you go through these transformations and talking to your clients about really getting the culture right, because the last thing you want to do is create a space that suddenly loses the magic of these organizations that you've been a part of building. So how do you think about culture and the workspace of the future and this new norm that we're going through?
Sure. So first I'll talk about how I think culture at Corgan has evolved over this shelter in place time. Our brand promise at Corgan is agility in design. That was really always an outward facing, that's what we promise our clients, that we will approach every design problem with agility and change and, not lose control during the process, but always be adjusting. It was interesting to see how our employees grabbed on to that thought of agility when they were asked to pick everything up, go home, work in a really collaborative way, all individually from home, and continue to support our clients. To see people rally around agility. So the hashtag Corgan makes it work just sprung up, organically, which was so cool. And that's just what people did. And so there was there was the validating part of culture where we saw it just kind of continue to come to life. And then what we did, we really focused on our communication from day one, put a team together. What are you hearing? What are people worried about? What are we not answering? And a dedicated kind of internal page, as well as video messages. We've just tried to be really responsive. So internally, it's been a mix of organically the culture expressing itself and then hard work around communications. To our customers, I would say the projects we've done over the past 10 years, I still think a lot of the tenets of those projects are still right on. So providing a lot of variety in the space, which is something you and I talk about all the time, that's going to serve people really well. So we don't have that many workplaces anymore where there was just cubicles and offices and conference rooms. We've got all kinds of in-between spaces, which now can be used differently, can help in spreading people out, larger, more spacious areas for work cafes where people can spread out and work. So those things I think are really good. Branding and telling stories in spaces, I think that's just going to help people feel connected when they are in the workplace. So those two trends of variety and storytelling, I think are right on. And the third one we've touched on already, community. So using the office to encourage each other, to tell employee stories, to tell customer stories, and have ownership of kind of your culture, I think is still right on. How do you then balance that with a virtual culture world? Last thing I'll say on that, we had quite a few remote employees already. Most of them were in other cities where we don't have significantly sized offices. They have been hilarious to talk to because they're like, this is the best. They're like,
you're now in our shoes.
You're in our shoes. They talked about everybody being equal. So before, there'd be 5 people in a conference room in Dallas, one person on the video going, hey, and then the equality that has happened in this virtual world where everybody kind of has an equal voice. So that's been an interesting difference in culture that's come out of this.